feast. On rare occasion, my Aunt Elizabeth would serve a great delicacy to the boarding school students: baked prairie dog. My uncle, father, friends, and some students would stage a prairie dog hunt early on a Saturday morning. They'd be gone 7 or 8 hours, returning with plenty for a wonderful Sunday meal. These little animals were vegetarians. They live in large colonies called dog towns, really burrows underground. As soon as the men unloaded the truck of burlap bags filled with prairie dogs, the assistant cooks and kitchen helpers who had been impatiently waiting would go to work skinning, gutting, and cleaning them, having a fine time butchering. Nana, Little Fat, and I watched, with Auntie telling us, "Stand back, don't get too close." Soon there'd be a big heap of yellowish brown fur and entrails piled on a large canvas, which the big boys carried away and buried. My auntie orchestrated this whole performance: do, don't, yes, no. She'd have the kitchen detail wash, dry, oil, and salt the carcasses, then carefully lay them on their backs, row after row, in large, heavy baking trays. These trays were put into coolers until early Sunday morning, at which time they were slid into the big ovens to bake. The students looked forward to this meal with great anticipation. As Sunday noon approached, Nana, Little Fat, and I would appear at the back door to the kitchen. Auntie, on seeing us, would call out, come in, sit over there, out of the way." Whenever they had the prairie dog feast at the boarding school, we would come over to the festivities. It was like a big celebration of native food, everyone in high spirits, looking forward to this special meal. Mr. Ans from the bakery would make dried fruit pies for the occasion. This was better than Thanksgiving. The cooks bustled around, mashing potatoes, making gravy. The kitchen detail checking things in the dining hall, making sure everything was in place. Then it was time. Tray after tray of juicy, succulent prairie dog came out of the big, hot ovens. Roasted to a crispy golden brown, they looked delicious, smelling like slow roasted chicken. Exquisite in their rows, they still had on their little heads, their little legs stuck straight up in the air. Nana and Little Fat left me to go eat in the dining hall with the students. I appreciated this sumptuous meal, but I just couldn't eat it. You see, I had had a pet prairie dog. It would have been like eating my own little pet. No, thanks. My auntie laughed at me, saying, "You don't know what you're missing," and that was fine with me.